Hello and welcome. You're watching the Monday edition of This is Exclusive with me, Shavinson. Ladies and gentlemen, just about a few days ago, a social media clip of the Mizoram Chief Minister, supposedly a speech that was delivered at the United States of America, where it was largely perceived as a separatist view of the Mizoram Chief Minister. So much so, you've had the Bharatiya Janata Party leaders taking up this entire matter, saying that this is unacceptable. For the first time, Mizoram Chief Minister has now spoken about what he believes was a propaganda that was carried out against him. And he says that he was speaking about a diverse community coming together and once again looking forward to what he believed was complete unity. All this and much more on this edition of This is Exclusive. But first, let's take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Massive fury after Mizoram Chief Minister's video from his US visit goes viral. Some say that Lalduhoma was trying to further some sort of separatist rhetoric after political to and fro. Republic brings to you Mizoram government's first official response. Republic accesses exclusive visuals and details of Lashkar-linked forces behind Srinagar grenade attack. Pakistan's terror module completely exposed once again.
आज को जाति में, धर्म में, भाषा में टुकड़े में बांटने की साजिश चल रही है.
Prime Minister Modi warns against divisive forces, says there is a conspiracy to divide the society on the basis of caste, religion and language.
I don't consider his absence a surprise or a shock. It is certainly, as a leader of opposition, something that you don't expect. But then he's Rahul Gandhi. He thinks he's an entitled dynast to whom rules don't apply, protocols don't apply.
Leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, absent from Justice Khanna's oath ceremony. Sources say absence because Justice Khanna's uncle had passed an order against emergency. Racist Congress at it again. Congress Minister Zabir Ahmed calls Union Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy dark-skinned. He later takes a U-turn and says that he called H.D. Kumaraswamy Khalia out of love. Ladies and gentlemen, just about a few days ago, there was a viral video of the Mizoram Chief Minister with regards to a speech that he had delivered in the United States of America. It appeared that there was a separatist mindset of the Chief Minister, where he was essentially talking about the fact that they were unsatisfied with the fact that they were taking in what was seen as the Britishers had given, dividing the community into three countries. Once again, Mizoram Chief Minister's office essentially now indicating that this was nothing but a propaganda. And the fact that the Chief Minister never essentially spoke about dividing the community, rather says that there was an attempt that was being made by the Chief Minister to bring together the community, and the fact that he himself has been advocating for a unified state. Take a look at this report and then we go across to the first big newsmaker joining us on This is Exclusive.
Few days back, a video of the Chief Minister of Mizoram went viral on social media.
As far as we are concerned, we shall never ever accept the division of our people into three countries. This will never be acceptable. And the boundaries are imposed boundaries by the British government. In that committee, we are never represented. We are never consulted. Therefore, it is an imposed boundary. We'll never accept it. We'll never accept construction of boundary fencing in between us.
Mizoram Chief Minister Lalduhoma's call was popularly inferred to be a call for a separate Christian nation, raising concerns about church influence in northeast India. Many argue that his remarks hint towards a veiled agenda aimed at unifying Christian communities across India, Myanmar and Bangladesh. However, the government of Mizoram categorically maintains that they have no inclination towards any separatist or secessionist agenda. Republic has accessed the full video clip of the Mizoram CM's statement during his United States visit.
India unity and diversity. Nam chi shang trang, sa trang trang, trong chi shang shang. An mga, zudi susuan namro pui tangpo nila. Tuna India sarkari na sunay pai le po fai le kip mai minpe angsa minpe tei sarkari.
In fact, Republic has also accessed another clip of Chief Minister Lalduhoma talking about the Akhand Bharat or the United India vision.
Akhand Bharat vision ani. Akhand Bharat chu Greater Motherland ani. Kan Prime Minister le kan Home Minister le Finance Minister te chunga. Lom thu ka soidwa. Kan mamo kan thente in hong takin minti sakzela. Poi safai angte akha saw nilo akai nang tein vaibel setam tak in seng savin India Central Sarkar hian heng kanuna ten kol na akian min pui renga mual polamin kanom thaipa ani.
The political to and fro has just begun. But what was the Mizoram CM actually talking about? Let's find out.
Well, in fact, for the first time, you have the Mizoram Chief Minister's office responding to the viral video and also the release that was basically put out by the government. Jonathan, the OSD to the Chief Minister of Mizoram, joining us on this broadcast. Jonathan, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. We have played out the entire speech of the Mizoram Chief Minister. But this entire confusion stems from the fact that there is a DIPR release. And I want to put that out for all our viewers. I'm quoting from what was the release. This is what the Chief Minister's statement or the speech indicated. And I'm quoting, I want us to have the conviction and confidence that one day, through the strength of God who made us a nation, we will rise together under one leadership to achieve our destiny of nationhood. While a country may have borders, a true nation that transcends such limitations, we have been unjustly divided, forced to exist under 3 different governments in 3 different countries, and this is something we can never accept. Jonathan, this was largely perceived as a demand for a separate state altogether. This is for the first time the government is speaking. I'm assuming the Chief Minister has tasked you to put out what they believe is the right perspective.
Yes, Sawanji, thank you. Yes, I'm here, under the permission of Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram. Yes. So, first of all, see, if one were to look at the DIPR article alone, it is quite understandable that, my chief minister might have this separatist tendency in his speech. But that's what I hope we can clarify in this interview tonight, that, that is not what it is. So if you were to look at the entire speech, the script which has been given to you, the DIPR part is only a gist of the entire speech, because the speech was, the hard copy was handed out right after both the session there as well. So number one, what my chief minister really said was that, it's about a call for unifying the community, the because if you look at what is happening, especially in Myanmar, there is a lot of infights between the communities, right, which has an adverse and direct impact into Mizoram and India at large. So the reason why HCM accepted this invitation to go to United States was also to really address this issue, which is really on the rise. Yeah. Yes,
Jonathan,
please.
Jonathan, the question here is about what does the Chief Minister essentially mean that they have been divided into 3 states and it is time to bring them together? As I understand, this would largely be perceived as a demand for a separate nationhood. If you can explain, where does it really stem from? The very fact that there is a large influence of the church in several states, several northeastern states, and many would see this as a large influence really coming in for a separate nation altogether.
Sawan, here, if we look at history, right, Britishers' divide and rule policy is very real. I mean, that is someone, I don't think anyone would doubt on that. So the colonial boundary, if I may, is something which is never acceptable for any Zo altogether. So yes, every Mizo stands with Chief Minister when when he says that colonial boundary is not acceptable to anyone. So that is what he meant. But the aspect in which bringing about the church, the religion aspect of it, carving out, that was far from it. I really don't understand how that has come about in the first place, because there was never an inclination in his speech about Christianity or anything of that sort. So this is where our concern is, because our chief minister went to the United States and on 30th August, and the speech in Maryland was on 2nd September, and in Indianapolis it was on 4th September. So 2 months have passed, right? 2 months have passed, and the article has been published on DIPR for good 2 months. But now people decide to pick bits and pieces of his speech, the video which has been played out, plus the certain scripts from the DIPR article, right? So this looks like there is a propaganda to malign not just the state of Mizoram, the people of Mizoram, plus government of India as well, someone here, because Chief Minister went to United States with MEA clearance, right? And in both the event in Maryland as well as in Indianapolis, IFS officer, from Indian Embassy as well as from the Consul General of Chicago, they were present there at the event. In fact, in Indianapolis, the Consul General himself gave us a speech talking about unity and such. So it's a vile effort by certain segments of the society who is really trying to bring out this propaganda, secessionist, ideology of the chief ministers and things like that. So it is never that. Coming about our chief minister as well, mind you, he is a former IPS officer. Yeah.
Jonathan, the reason why many would be asking this question is, A, of course, there was no clarification that was given to the DIPR statement that was released. But having said that, this is also in the time that we're talking is about the Kuki Zo Chin sentiment that is growing, and the very fact that the volatile situation that we see in the border areas. That is the reason why many perhaps would be extrapolating what the chief minister is saying. So you ought to be very careful about what you're essentially saying, because there was no clarification that was put out even by the chief minister's office. So keeping in mind the sentiment of the Kuki, Zo, Chin, overall sentiment, overarching sentiment that is essentially emerging.
Yes, absolutely. see, I won't go as far as the Zoku kitchen aspect of it, because this was not really about the Zoku key aspect in this. This is more to do with what is going on in Myanmar, because the Mizo so-called diaspora that we have in United States, which is also very influential for that matter, is and the infights we are talking about is primarily from the Myanmar side, from the Chin communities, basically. Right. So there are various articles which have been published around this. And I think if you kind of do a little bit of a read up on what is going on in Myanmar and the situation that is happening, it is a concern. It is a concern not just for Mizoram, but for India at large. So one point that I would like to mention here also is that my chief minister is assigned a very important role by government of India on this regard. That is as far as I can reveal. But he is on a mission, and he has a task, a very important task for that matter, and that's why he is quite vocal about probably the Zoe reunification and things like that. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast and putting this into perspective, because many would have thought that this would pass off as a separatist rhetoric made by the Chief Minister. Thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast and putting this into perspective. Well, in fact, all this while, you've had Farooq Abdullah trying to pass on a narrative that Indian agencies were trying to destabilize Omar Abdullah's government, and the fact that Pakistan cannot be blamed for the recent attacks that have taken place. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight on This Is Exclusive, we put out the facts. The Srinagar grenade attack face is now out. My colleague Zeenat has got us exclusive images of who was behind the grenade attack that took place in Srinagar. And the real mastermind of it is none other than this man that you see on your screens, Sheikh Osama Yasin, born in 1999 and from Srinagar, Ikrajpura in Srinagar. He is the man who is behind the attack that took place in Srinagar. Let's take you through more details of it. His discontinued studies, pursued training at ITI Baba Dem. Let's take you through more details of it. Criminal record, December 2018, he was arrested for waving the ISIS flag. 13 UAPA acts at Nauhata police station. Booked 4 times due to radical behavior. And these are the terrorist links in contact with the Pakistani handlers. So, ladies and gentlemen, the fact that there is a Pakistani link is also exposed. Provided logistics to the terrorists in Srinagar. Provided logistics to terrorist Bilal Bhai. Let's take you through more details coming in. Connected with the narcotics terror handlers. And the fact that he was directly in contact with Lashkar-e-Toiba handlers in Pakistan. Now, let's also take you through the other links that are basically emerging. 18 security personnel were basically killed in action when the attack took place. 14 civilians have been killed by the terrorists here. This is the overall link that's coming in. 13 terrorists have been killed so far. And 8 out of the 10 districts of Jammu have also recorded terror attacks. Now, this is a consolidated picture that is basically emerging of the attacks that have taken place in the Jammu region. But the fact of the matter is this: we are unmasking the mastermind behind the Srinagar attack that took place. Let me also go across to my colleague Zeenat, who's getting us those exclusive details of the Pakistani link that is emerging and the fact that who's the real handler. Farooq Abdullah all this while wanted everyone to believe that this is the handiwork of the agencies. Zeenat, what more details are you picking up as we put out the first exclusive pictures of the mastermind?
See, Shravan, this is an exclusive story, and the exclusive imports that we are breaking here, the Republic, it's almost been the 9th day, but Srinagar police was able to crack this case in less than 4 days when they were able to arrest Osama along with 2 of his associates. The links directly emerging from the Pakistan. He has been working for ISJK in Kashmir, but has been an operator of Lashkar-e-Toiba in Kashmir Valley. Although his terror records emerged from 2018 till date, he was he was waving flags in Jama Masjid in 2018, then got a bail. Then he was involved with Bilal Bai, who got neutralized in Haidarpora, which is an infamous case of Haidarpora encounter. He was providing support. And then if we talk about the recent terror attack that took place in Srinagar, and that really shook the entire society, because it's been after more than 2 years the Srinagar city witnessed such kind of attack. And this time, who was the target? It was not forces, it was not non-locals, it was only the local population that was targeted. So that tells you that Pakistan even has no love for the locals here, and Pakistan carrying the investments and the J&K police trying to demolish that investment in Jammu and Kashmir. Yes, Shravan.
Well, Zeenat, we'll try and put out the full report for those who are joining us on this broadcast where we are unmasking. My colleague Zeenat getting us exclusive images of the mastermind and who exactly was responsible for it and how exactly is he linked to Lashkar-e-Toiba. Take a look at this exclusive report.
Kashmir's journey towards peace continues, but there are some who refuse to accept it. Pakistan, unable to see stability and calm in the valley, is leaving no stone unturned to create unrest. Despite the increasing desire for peace among the people here, Pakistan seems determined to destabilize Kashmir with terror, using cross-border infiltration and targeted attacks on innocent civilians. Last Sunday, this was the scene of an ISJK-led grenade attack in the bustling Sunday market. 12 civilians were injured in the explosion, lives shattered in mere seconds. Among them, a mother of 2 young children now clinging to life at the ICU at Shireen Bagh Hospital. Her family devastated. Her 2 young children face a nightmare no child should. The encounter statistics in recent weeks show a stark pattern. An overwhelming number of Pakistani terrorists being neutralized here in the valley, which only underscores Pakistan's active hand in fueling this chaos. The locals of the valley have also established their clarion call: stop the cross-border terrorism. Republic has accessed exclusive details of the terrorist who was involved in the Srinagar grenade attack. Sheikh Osama Yassin, a terrorist based out of Ikhrajpora in Srinagar, has been arrested for waving the ISIS flag before. Not only that, he is believed to have deep links with Pakistani handlers of the Lashkar-e-Toiba. As the list of countless lives being claimed only grows longer and longer, when will the Pakistan-sponsored terror outfit finally stop spreading terror in the valley?